bell for critical future updates. In absolutely breaking news, George Soros has announced that the United States and the European Union must remove Putin and Xi from power, quote, before they can destroy our civilization. A third world war will destroy our civilization unless Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping are removed from power, warns billionaire Democrat mega donor George Soros. Ladies and gentlemen, he is calling for war, and he's telling all the people that he's paid off in the U.S. Senate and Congress that they better get after it. This is scary, scary business. Quote, after receiving a green light from the Chinese President Xi Jinping, Russian President Vladimir Putin launched his war in Ukraine in an effort to reclaim the old Russian Empire. Soros wrote an op-ed published by Project Syndicate on Friday, i.e. today. Quote, but both leaders appear to have misjudged the situation, raising the prospect of a global catastrophe unless they are removed from power, he wrote. Putin has, quote, gone literally mad, end quote, cautioned the chairman of Soros Fund Management and the Open Society Foundations, all owned by George Soros. This op-ed was written by George Soros. Quote, he decided to punish Ukraine for standing up to him. And he appears to be acting without any constraint. He is throwing the entire Russian army into the battle and ignoring all the rules of war, not least by indiscriminately bombing the civilian population in Ukraine. The Pentagon has deployed over 12,000 troops to NATO member nations to aid in the Ukraine-Russian conflict, despite Americans overwhelmingly opposing U.S. involvement in any such conflict. He's begging for it, folks, and what he wants, he will get. He's about to buy off the lawmakers, and they're going to put boots on the ground. Say goodbye. Please remember, anything's possible in bizarro world. Even this 90-year-old J.A. ruling the world from behind a hidden curtain somewhere.
All right, Shalom. This is Har 1 by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim La Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Harakah Kodash Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim and Akwati, my children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. All right. Yeah, you hear them talking about George Soros, man, popping up on the scene, one of the banking elites, you know. One of those, what you would call Khazars, you know what I mean? So, he's, you know, he's a major player on the scene, you know, in the background with being a hidden hand and bringing down the Soviet Union in around 1991. All right, breaking up the Soviet Union. He actually paid off a bunch of dissidents over there in Eastern Eurasia and also in Russia. All right, so he's one of the major players, a major, what you call a donor. You know, he set up different societies to where he funds a lot of the politicians and the people that make the choices, whether to go to war or not. And now he about to pull those strings so they can push this war into full gear. All right, because they're trying to push that, they're trying to bring in a new world order. So they need Russia and America to go to war. But it's the Most High holding back the prophecies till he's ready. You know, Esau can't do nothing about that. But a couple scriptures came to my mind. I'm gonna go into it real quick. And yeah, this guy here, Soros is a damn devil, man. You know, but now Russia's trying to bring back the old Soviet Union. All right, trying to gather up those old countries and you know, bring back that old Soviet Union structure. All right, and he's in that Soviet Union mindset, that war. He got a war stance against the whole world right now. Anybody that stands against him, that's why the Lord called him the bear. Okay, and he stirred up the spirit of the Medes, that old war spirit, that warlike spirit. You know, that's what everybody's seeing. They're using biblical terms, that terms like raise it. They're gonna raise Kiev. Raise it means to bring it down or destroy it. Okay. So, but you got this guy Soros, man. They funded all the wars. You know, World War I, World War II, Vietnam War. They always fund one side of the war or both sides of the war. You know, or they fund the chaos or the dissidents. You know. So now he's showing he's stepping onto the scene, and now they're pushing, saying he wants a war with Russia, and they sending in a bunch of U.S. troops to the NATO countries. All right, and Russia just hired I think 16,000 ex-ISIS members, man. So it's going down, you know. It's just a build-up. This is Psalms 64 and 5. All right. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, "Who shall see me?" And that's what they're doing. All right. Everybody know they got that plan to push the New World Order. All right. So they need these countries to go to war, so these elites can go hide in their bunkers. But the Lord said they're gonna fall like lightning, quick. All right. This guy here, he's part of that. He represents Lucifer, the Illuminati, the illuminated ones, the damn devil, deceivers. All right. So they're pushing for a war. And he wants to remove Xi Jinping and Russia, because Russia has their own setup. They have their own NATO. They have their own form of the beast. They have their own banking setup, their own cryptocurrency, you know, their own SWIFT system that they can use, called the SIP system, I think, CIP. All right. So yeah, man, he said he about to pull some strings, and he want them to go ahead and push for this war and get boots on the ground from America. Psalm 64 and 6, they search out iniquities. Right, they searched it out, and they've been planning all this, and they searched out their wickedness, right, their wicked ways, and they accomplished a diligent search, man. You know, so they came up with a plan. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep, man. Deep in wickedness. But Yahweh shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away, man. All right. Get this real quick. All right, they said Russia has gone mad. You know? And it's a scripture that says they have drunken the wine of this place, and therefore the nations are mad. But that's not talking about being angry. It's talking about boasting. All right, that's what Russia used to do. You've seen them on videos dancing with George Bush Jr., Vladimir Putin. They're doing the heel toe in the damn circle, dancing, you know. Got all kind of ties with America and Russia. Like George Bush still selling, he owns the Shell companies, the Shell gas station, and those gas stations are still selling gas to Russia. All right, and they just now stopped. Biden just put it out today to stop bringing imports from Russia, dealing with wine, alcohol, expensive cars, fruits, you know, all kind of stuff, man. So all those ties are being broken. So now they were boasting in that, you know, they became prideful as nations, just like China. All right, they all got rich off America. The wine represents the business. Jeremiah 51:11. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahweh have raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. So that spirit, that old warlike stance, like Stalin, right, you know, Stalin that was ruling in Russia right before Putin. You know, it was slaughtering people, man. They was just killing people. And then you got Putin in place, and he's known as the person that helped to rebuild Russia and got the economy back in order. All right, since 1991, and Soros paid off all those people in 1983 and 1994, all those dissidents to rise up against Russia. All right, caused Russia to push for war, right? Preparing for war so much that they invested so much into their military infrastructure that their economy failed, all right, fell. And that's when you had the separation and the demise of the Soviet Union. And now Russia is snatching those countries back and putting everything back in place. But even that's going to get destroyed by the Lord, you know? So now Soros is popping up again because Russia waged war against Soros a couple years ago. This dude's like his own, a walking country by himself, man, the type of money they got. All right. For his device is against Babylon, man. So the Lord raising up that spirit in Putin. That's what they're saying. He's mad. He's going crazy. he ain't go crazy. He's the Lord moving prophecy, man. He said, you know, so the Lord has Russia's device in his imagination, his mind, his thoughts are to destroy America. To destroy it because it is the vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple. That's what it's really about. It's about Judgment Day, all right? And the type of person they're dealing with Putin, right here. Isaiah 13:17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. So the Lord is stirring up that spirit in Russia. All right, time for peace and the time for war. This is the time for war. So the Lord is getting that prepared. All right, you know. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it, man. So they're not a country that delights in gold and silver. That, you know, they can't be bought off. And the sanctions and all of that, they're not worrying about that. You know, they're a war country. Look how them Ukrainians are acting. Look how Russia's acting. All right, they built for war. You know, their bows shall dash the young men to pieces. And even now, look at what Russia's doing over there, dashing young people to pieces. And they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. That's called casualties of war. That's how you know this is going to be a world war. And when they shoot those missiles over here, watching what they're doing in Ukraine, we get an example of what Russia's going to do here in Babylon. All right. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms. Right, their eyes shall not spare children, man. All right, so let me get this real quick. Stay on this topic. Right, man. So the Lord raising up that old spirit of the Soviet Union, the USSR, on Russia. And Ukraine doesn't want to be a part of that. Ukraine wants to join the NATO, Western European family of Edomites. Ezekiel 38:4, and I will turn thee back. So he's talking about who? God, Gog and Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal over there in European, Eastern Europe, which will be Russia, right? And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, meaning take control of that place. The Lord taking control of Putin right now. The Lord got a spell on him, controlling him. Got the hooks in his jaws, moving him how you want, you know? And I will bring thee forth in all thine armies. So the Lord bringing them forth, man. All right, out of that hibernation. So he's bringing them back to being the Soviet Union again. In a dominant, war-like nation. All right, all thine army and horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, man. So the Lord has fully prepared Russia for this war that's coming. All right, we haven't seen nothing yet. That's why you can feel it. It says right here, man. You can feel it, man. It's building up. Let me get this real quick. That's right, man. So it says here, Isaiah 30. I'm going to start from 12. I'm going to start from 13. Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant, man. You know, so the Lord gonna have that destruction just break forth out of nowhere on everybody like wildfire. All right, but certain prophecies that are in place that have to happen first, and you see what Biden is doing, switching over to the trying to regulate the crypto system. So you know where that's going. And everything's creeping up slowly. The next thing you know, the Most High is going to break it forth, man, like a woman's pregnancy. You know? It builds up for 9 months. You see the signs, all of a sudden her water break. Like a breach. Broken breach. But, says here, so the Lord's raising up that old Soviet spirit in Russia and Putin. He's pushing that, you know, that vibration on the Russians. All right. Sirach 39:28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance. So the Lord created Russia for his day of vengeance, to shoot missiles on this place, Babylon. All right. So the Lord said He's still against the Gog and Magog. But the Lord said He's going to use them. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury they lay on sore strokes. So the Lord has got Russia and Putin in a fury right now, a fury state of mind. That's why everybody, yo, he's going mad. He lost his damn mind. He's blowing up the whole country over there. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force, man, and appease the wrath of Him that made them. All right, so the Lord is controlling Putin right now, and He's appeasing the Most High's wrath, and Putin don't even know it. You know. Look at this one. Putin don't even know it. Proverbs 20:24, a man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? So the Most High is controlling Putin. That spirit, that war chief mentality on Putin, man. All right, so that's why it's scaring the hell out of these damn Edomites. You know, and they pushing their propaganda war and trying to single out Russia. But really, you see people like Soros, he's going to try to hide. That's what he do. They're going to say, hey, you need to go over and go to war with them. And then boom, the war start off, they're going to disappear. They'll be hiding in bunkers. You know? So yeah, man, this snake has reared up his damn ugly head in the midst of them trying to push these economic wars on each other, cyber attacks, and media wars and propaganda wars. And now all of a sudden, they putting sanctions on Russia, and those sanctions is nothing. All right, they ain't gonna sanction the heavy stuff that'll make Russia go to war with America. But now you got these elites stepping in. They're like, yo, listen, you ain't moving quick enough. Get the war started. Yeah, they stepping in. He calling for a war. He calling for the Pentagon to do something and put boots on the ground. And you heard about what Russia said if they do that. All right. So, matter of fact, I brought this out last week. What was it? Let me get this real quick. That's right, man. Here we go. Revelation 20:7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, man. And these devils, that's where they belong. And they've been loosed for this little season, you know. And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. So they bringing a whole world war. And they're deceiving all the nations into this war. So they can bring about a new world order. All right, Gog and Magog, man, Russia, Soviet Union, to gather them together to battle, and the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. So that's what time we in, man. All right, Kal Halayim Lay Habashim Yahushai. So the Lord is bringing about his prophecies, and he said he does not move nor stir them till the said measure be fulfilled. Again, the MOTB has to be pushed on the world scale and manifest out in the open. And then that's when that breach gonna fall, man. All right, they're calling for the war. They're calling for boots on the ground. And Russia, they say, yo, if they do that, then they look at that like that's full on war. All right, shalom.